Hello everyone, I am Prakriti Arora and this is my fourth task as a data science and business analytics intern with the Sparks Foundation under GRIP May 21 batch. And the objective of this task is exploratory data analysis in the field terrorism. From the given data set global terrorism DB, we have to find out the hot zones of terrorism. So before get starting with the code, let's first get understand what exploratory data analysis is. Exploratory data analysis EDA is an approach to analyze datasets to summarize their main characteristics, usually with visual methods. It is used for observing what the data can tell us before the modeling task. Now let's get into the code. Obviously, the first step would be to import the libraries. Then we'll read the data, read the CSV file. These are the first five rows of our data set, and now we'll try to understand and clean our data. So df.info shows us that we have 1,81,691 rows and 135 columns. This shows the same, and these are the columns present in our data. These are the column names present in the 135 values. These are so I year. We have here we can see that I year, I month. These aren't appropriate column names, so we shall change the names and remove the unnecessary columns. Df.describe. This function shows the continuous variables of our dataset, year, month, day, latitude, longitude, Kelvin, are the continuous variables. Also, from this table, we can see that the number of the count of each column isn't same. Hence, we can say that there are a lot of null values or wrong values in our dataset. Okay, so we'll try to data clean our data now. First, we'll check for any check for null datas. Here we have null datas in our data set. Now we'll try to fill out the null data and correct the wrong data. Now we'll rename the columns as I told you earlier. I year as year, I month as month, and we'll remove the unnecessary data. Now the final this is the final or clean data which has 18 columns now. Now we'll start with our exploratory data analysis. So firstly we'll plot a graph for terror attacks in years, number of attacks each year. So from this graph, clearly we can see that maximum number of attacks took place in the year of 2014 and minimum took place in 1971 and 73 around. Now the second plot is terrorist, terrorist activities by region in each area. From this graph, it's clearly visible that maximum number of attacks took place in Middle East and North Africa regions. Now let's move to our other. Here we can see the top 10 countries with maximum attacks. Now, here we can see the top 10 terrorist groups with maximum attacks. Now we'll see the subplot of top countries affected. It's clearly evident that Iraq is the most affected country by terrorist attacks. And yeah, so our next plots number of people died due to attack year wise. So from this we can clearly see that maximum number of people were killed in the year of 2014 by terrorist attacks. Almost even more than 40,000 people were killed. Now, these are the top 10 most affected cities, and Baghdad is the maximum affected city of Maximum affected by the terrorist attacks, Baghdad, and minimum was attacked Istanbul. So yeah, and now next plot is of name of attack, type versus number of attacks. So attack type, yeah. Here we can see from this plot that by bombing and explosion, maximum number of attacks took place by bombing and explosion, and hijacking were minimum. Hijacking, unarmed assault, and hostage taking, barricade incident. So, yeah. And for our next plot, we have number of killed. By number of people killed by attack type, we can conclude that maximum number of people were killed by armed assault. Here, armed assault and bombing or explosion. Maximum number of people were killed. Now we'll see number of people wounded versus attack type. Maximum number of people were wounded. Again, maximum number of people were wounded by bombing or explosion. Now we have attacks per year based on attack type. From this paragraph, we can clearly say that maximum attacks per year were made on private citizens and properties. Here you can see even more than 40,000 attacks, which is too much. So, yeah. And for next plot, we have top 10 terrorist group attack. Taliban is the number one group, terrorist group, which attacked maximum number of times. Others weren't less, or others weren't less even. They were. They also have a good number of attacks. From this graph, we can see this, and number of people killed by top 10 terrorist attack. So here we have ISIL, Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, killed maximum number of people. So now we have this table: group, country kill, and top 10. Iraq is the number one country affected, and ISIL is the group which killed maximum number of people. And we have, so number of people killed by terror attacks is 4,11,868, which is just in this data set. What actually it would be, we can't even imagine. And here we have killed. So finally we can conclude that country with the most attacks is Iraq, and city with the most attacks is Baghdad, and the region with the most attacks is Middle East and North Africa, and year with the most attacks is 2014. Month with the most attacks is May. Group with the most attacks is Taliban, and most attacks took place in the form of bombing or explosion. So that's all from my side. Thank you.